What? You're telling me that some boring off-white beige Becky bullshit isn't inspiring your most colorful creative self for the new year? Will color me surprised. Hello, Champagne Dreamers. Welcome back to my channel. Or if you're new here, I don't know how you found me, but welcome. Hit that subscribe button down below. Become part of the family. I would love for you to stick around. My name is Janessa J. Champagne, and I am North Dakota's trash queen of glam, geek, and gore. And for today's video, we are talking about the color of the year. And we're going to do a little Get Ratchet with me to introduce my color of the year. Yes. I am giving you my own color of the year, and I'm going to tell you why, and I'm going to tell you what it is, although you got a little bit of preview with the thumbnail. And so if you're excited to talk about the color of the year and what we can do to like make our lives a little bit more colorful than what Cloud Dancer is giving us, then stick around because we're getting into it right now.
It won't go away. I've got that feeling rushing through my body. I know that it is here to stay. It's like you're my personal Illuminati. I know that some might say that I am just a bad girl, but if you treat me right, I will be the best girl in this whole world. No, I'm not gonna fight.
That's right. Pantone announced their color of the year for 2026, and it's Cloud Killer, Curb Stomper, Clan White. It's Cloud Dancer, and it's a bluish toned off-white. It's basically white. It's supposed to be clouds. It's supposed to be billowy. It's supposed to be serenity. It's bullshit. I hate it. As somebody who loves to play with makeup that resonates with the color of the year, what am I supposed to do with white? What am I supposed to do with white? I mean, this is just not good for us makeup folks, but it's also not good in general. And let's talk about it, because I get the whole, like, we need some serenity. After this last year, we absolutely need some serenity, but this is not where to find it. And in fact, as a grumpy Gen Xer, I'm less likely to jump right on and say this is kind of a racist dog whistle. But spoiler alert, it's a little bit of a racist dog whistle. So I'm not an expert in this particular area. I've done a little bit of research after the color was announced, and I read some things online. I did a little poking around, and this is something that people have talked about, is that when you get to these very stark white minimalist sort of movements in design and decor, a lot of times there is an element that is, if not overtly racist, is certainly meant to sort of push against and erase marginalized communities. And the reason why is because if you think about a lot of the marginalized communities here in the United States, I know that this is global, and I know I probably have global audiences and different countries feel different ways, but a lot of the people who are marginalized and who are really experiencing terrible things in this country right now, they have cultures that are vibrant, that are colorful, that have spice and patterns and beautiful, beautiful, fun colors. And so anytime there's kind of a conservative swing in the culture, we tend to see a push towards these more minimalist, more pastel, less colorful, less vibrant, less exciting design choices. Think about the 80s. Now, a lot of people, if you were like me in the 80s and we're not just like hiring an interior designer, we were a little bit thrift store, we were a little bit country, you still kind of had all your brown and orange, everything from the 70s, right? Like avocado and harvest gold didn't leave on New Year's Day 1980. But for like design and fancy interior design, that's where we started seeing a lot of pastels, a lot of grays, a lot of white carpets, all that kind of stuff. And that was Reaganomics, right? That was part of the Reagan era. It was this conservative swing after all of the identity movements of the 60s and 70s. And so in the 80s, we get this kind of whiplash where it goes a little bit more conservative and everything gets very pastel, very light, very white, very minimalist. And again, that's meant to push back and erase some of these more vibrant, more interesting, more colorful cultures. So was I going to sit around and paint myself in clan white for this year? No, absolutely not. So I decided that I am going to do my own color of the year. And we are going to do a look inspired by that. And we are going to use a Bella Beaute bar palette that I'm very excited about, but we're also going to use colorful foundation. Now, I have been loving playing with colorful foundations, and I have a couple of purple options. So my color of the year, fanfare please, is electric purple. Hashtag 8F00FF. For those of you who want the hex code to add that into your projects. Now, would it have been easy for me to pick a green because I love green? Green is my favorite. Absolutely. I decided to go with purple because, first of all, I love purple. Even though I love green, I feel like I end up doing more purple looks and purple and pink together than I do green looks. Green is harder to match to more of my outfits, so it has to be a really special time where I like pick outfits that I know will work with a green look, or if I'm just doing a filming day, I might do all green, but I love purple. And also, because of how they described Cloud Dancer, where they said it was a dose of serenity, I'm here for that. I understand that the people who are picking this color, they may not have any nefarious sort of things. This may just be something that feeds into some of the cultural zeitgeist and brings up these kind of more negative things. But I will take them at their word when they say that they want more peace and serenity. And I love that. I'm here for it. But there are other things that can bring peace and serenity than white. I love amethyst. I'm really into rocks and crystals. I read tarot. I'm a little bit woo-woo. That's another side of this crazy hooker clown persona. I also have kind of a woo-woo side. And I love crystals. And amethyst is one of the best crystals for serenity, for peacefulness. If you have trouble sleeping, putting a piece of amethyst under the bed, under where your head is, or on your nightstand next to you. Purple as a color is very healing, very soothing. It connects to your crown chakra, which is really good about like connecting to the world and feeling a part of things. It's beautiful. I absolutely love it. And so I was like, you know what? Let's do a purple shade. And I'm excited to play with these purple foundations and see what kind of a look we can come up with. Now, here is the challenge. Here is the ask. Let me just say, I would love for all of you to create your own electric purple. Let's make this be a statement, right? Let's make the color of the year. We're going to say that we don't have to like put up with this beige Becky bullshit. We're going to embrace color and vibrancy with electric purple. If you create any looks, if you want to tag me, I'm going to try. I'm not very good at some of this stuff, and I haven't done this before, but I'm going to try to create a community playlist where anybody who submits for color of the year during 2026, you can be added to that community playlist. You can always message me on Instagram or Facebook, and you can let me know that you've done a video, or if you tag me in it, I usually do see all of my notifications. YouTube has been a little bit sketchy sometimes with not sending all the notifications, but if you wanted to send me a notification, tag me, and you can hashtag Real Color of the Year 2026, and that will be kind of our theme. Now, some of you may not like purple. Some of you might be like, why does this bitch get to choose the color of the year for everybody? I don't have to. If this purple color doesn't resonate for you, then you can absolutely be included in this playlist, in this project, but you're going to have to name your color of the year. So go and search shades and try to find a Pantone color. I know that because it's Pantone color of the year, it's also helpful because then if you want to use it in projects like in your video editing for like your text or for banners or whatever, Pantone will give you a hex code, like a little number code that you can put into your editor to have your color. So if you want to name your own color, absolutely find the perfect, beautiful color for you. You can still tag me, still hashtag Real Color of the Year 2026, and I will add you to the community playlist, and we can create a rainbow of color to push back against this beige Becky bullshit. I'm super excited. I hope you're excited, and I'm excited for this look because we are going to be 100% purple. Now, purple makeup, and especially this purple foundation, can potentially stain. So pray for me that I don't have to go into work tomorrow looking hot pink all over my face and neck. Let's get to it. Now with 47% more potato face. Hello everybody, if I'm looking a little bit rough, not only do I not have foundation on like I usually do in these videos, but also I just scrubbed off the first face that I painted today. This is the second face I'm going to be painting today. And I'm very excited because we are going to be creating my electric purple look with this purple foundation from Sunset Makeup and this pastel purple foundation from Glisten Cosmetics. So all I have on my face right now are a couple of primers. I've got the Conjuring X Lethal Cosmetics Blood Drop Primer and the Strawberry Whip from Makeup Revolution, I Heart Revolution. And now let's get into this. I'm ready. This is a long day, so I'm kind of rushing the intro, but I don't have much on my face to talk about anyway, so let's get purple. So I'm going to start with the Sunset Makeup, which is appropriately just called Purple. It's one of those air pumps where it doesn't have the tube. And so getting it to go the first time, it can be a little challenging until you get all the air that's in there out. Get a big old pile of purple foundation. My dress is very high necked, so I don't have to go very far down, but I will have to go onto the neck. And then when I change, I'll probably have to do a little touch up just to make sure that my neck area is covered. And I'm going to wear gloves so that I don't have to paint my hands purple. That's pretty good coverage. As you're spreading it, if you keep working it, it does kind of thin out a little bit and it starts to look a little bit pink. But I think I'll be able to work with the sponge to get a nice even application. And with 2 coats, it should look purple purple. We need more. Usually with ears, as I'm finishing up a section, I'll just kind of take whatever's left on the thing and go over it. With colorful foundations, obviously, you may want to add a little bit of product just so that you get full ear coverage and you don't have little ears that are your skin tone and the rest of your skin tone is purple. Right, I need probably a little bit more just so I can do kind of a second go over. Before I do that though, I'm just going to take the sponge as it is and I'm just going to kind of go over some of these areas just to see if I can even it out. I do think I still want that second coat just to get a little bit more coverage. I want to make sure we're coming off purple and not too pinky. I feel like some Oompa Loompas are gonna suddenly bust in and sing a song about how I've made poor choices. I mean, I deserve it. We can cry when it's over. fan on the Minnesota Vikings. If you've got any Vikings jokes, get them out now. So I just wiped the foundation off the back of my hand. This does not bode well for my future because it is stained pink. But we're here, we're in it, we're committed to the bit. Let's go ahead and add a little dimension to the face with the Glisten Cosmetics Spectra Base in Pastel Purple. I'm going to use this where I would use a concealer. This pastel purple is a little bit too blue. It's a little bit too like cornflower periwinkle. I would have liked a little bit more like purple, like a lavender pastel purple, but I think it'll work. I'm just going to have to do more of the blending with the original shade to make sure that we get more of a range. I do like the lightness that it brings though. Now this is something I feel like I noticed the last time I used sunset makeup. I do feel like my eyes are a little bit irritated when I go over. Now these are supposed to be able to be used just like foundations. I put foundation straight over my eyes and I usually don't have any kind of like stinging sensation, but I definitely am tearing up a little bit and I have a little bit of like a stinging sensation in my eyes. I think we'll be okay. I just wanted to note that.
We're the last people standing, still dancing when the lights come on. The music is fading, but this is our favorite part. I used to feel like an outcast, but I think I'm alright.
All right, there we go. The blend under the eye is looking a little crazy on camera, but in person, it's a little bit better. And so I'm hoping when I view the footage, it won't look quite so crazy, but I am enjoying the blend that I'm getting here. All right, for eye primer, I don't know if this is the way you're supposed to do it. I'm not really like a special effects makeup artist. This is just something I dabble around in. So I'm never sure if you're supposed to use like your original skin tone eye primer still so that you still get the same color payoff. I like to use the color closest to the foundation. So this is a P. Louise color base in Vivid Violet. I'm going to use this as my eye primer.
Cause you make me feel like I belong. You like me from me without all of the glitter, and you make me laugh just like a little kid, and all my insecurities just disappear when you're here with me.
I like this because it's a little bit lighter than the foundation shade, but it's a little bit darker than that concealer foundation shade. When I look in the camera, I'm really seeing, especially along the jawline and up on the forehead, some of it could just be light reflection, but I feel like I'm seeing some of that pink peeking through. So I'm going to go, while this sets a little bit, I'm going to add a little bit more of that foundation. All right, now to do a little bit of contour, I do have the Spectra base in black. I think this will make a good contour. I don't want to use anything with any brown because that's not going to blend well with the purple color. Now to my fellow white people, I understand this is a black foundation. This is like Youthforia level black foundation. Don't embarrass us. You know what I'm talking about. And I'm going to use this Morphe 107 brush. I like the little paintbrush end. I think this is going to work well with this foundation. Black is a very strong pigment, so anytime you're using it in an eye look, if you're using it to mix in with a foundation to do contour like this, just be careful because it can easily take over. It's easier to start light and slowly build it up than to go in really heavy. So I'm going to try to go in as light as possible. And I'm going to start on the edge so that I can see how it applies. Yeah, I think this is going to be a good contour, because I think the black will mix with the purple and it'll just make a darker purple. And then of course I still have the sponge with the purple foundation on it so that I can mix them and blend back and forth. It is in the camera, there's a little bit of mutton chops action. I feel like the blend looks a little bit better in person, but let me go over all of that and then maybe build a little more in. 'Cause I'm so damn happy now. When I'm at my darkest, you're always there to pick me up. I don't think that I'll tell you enough that I love you and how you light me up. I used to feel like an outcast, but with you I know that I belong. Like it's us against the world. You like me from me without all of the glitter. All right, I fear that my entire life is going to be stained purple forever, but we are going to soldier on. The eye look for today is going to be Bella Beaute Bar's Dark Dreamscape. Look at that beautiful artwork. And then look at these beautiful shades. They're kind of blown out. I'm hoping when I edit the footage, they'll be a little bit closer, but beautiful purples, deep blues, and that pop of orange is definitely going to make its way into the look as well. So we are going to sketch out the shape with this shade Portal, which is kind of a medium orchidy purple. And I think that'll contrast enough with the foundation that I can see the shape. And if I know Bella Beaute Bar the way I do, I know it'll layer well with the other shades. So we're going to use that to set up the look and then add other shades on top of it. When the stars are spelling your name and the night is bright. So I'm using a fluffy Morphe brush and it's just kind of blending right into that purple. This matches closer to the foundation than I thought it did. They know there's something always. Kick off your shoes, let your body. All right, but that at least set it down a little bit and it gave me a little bit of a border. I just want to dive right into these shimmers. These shimmers are so pretty. Let me start with, I'm going to do Parallel Dimension, which is a purple with a gold shift. And I'm going to put that over a big chunk of the lid. I'm going to leave a little spot in here that we're maybe going to add some orange. We might add another color eye primer to help that really pop, but I want to start with this so I can get a big swath of that across the lid. Listen to the river. It's better than radio. You won't fall even when you're up high. That's really pretty. You're getting so much of that orange. I love it. Growing up can be so hard. It's gonna be alright tonight. We're gonna kill it today. Get lost in the music. Get lost in the neon lights. This is pretty. There is definitely some purple in here, but because I've changed my skin color to purple, this is basically like a nude base for this skin tone. And so you're getting the orange. I think if I were putting this over my regular skin tone, the purple would contrast against my natural skin color a little bit more, but I'm just getting the orange and I'm not mad about it. And now I'm going to go into Upside Down, which is a much more like blue-based purple, and I'm going to put that up next to the orange. And now I'm going back into Parallel Dimension just to kind of marry those two a little bit more. So Shadow Universe looks like it's a little bit of a multi-chrome that's got some purple, maybe some red, even maybe a little bit of green. And I want to kind of put that where those two come together, because I feel like Upside Down, a lot of the shimmer kind of went into the foundation. And so now it's kind of acting as a base, and I'm hoping that we can add a little bit of this and it'll bring some dimension into the area next to this orange. Or maybe it'll just look all orange when I put it on. There's a little bit of differentiation, but not a lot. So we'll go back into Upside Down to try to build up a little bit of that shimmer. Remember, any of these struggles are not the fault of Bella Beaute Bar. I'm not very skilled or experienced with creating eyeshadow looks over top of grape Kool-Aid colored foundation. So this is a me struggle, not a Bella Beaute Bar struggle. And actually, I think it's probably not even that bad. I think this eye looks better than this eye. I'm getting more of a blend. And so I'm just going to kind of keep working these different shades and try to get them to, yeah, I like that. Okay. So that's pretty good. I'm going to build some more mattes around here, and we're going to see what we can get to happen with this eye look. I like it, but I don't love it. Still working. Trust the process. All right, Void, this dark navy, I'm going to do that on the outer corner, and I might even bring some around the shape just to kind of give us a little bit more definition. That one shade that I put down first, I was hoping it would contrast more, and it really doesn't. Yeah, I think that's my issue, is I think because that first shade just blended in, I feel like the eye look looks so small that now I'm just trying to amp up and add more depth and more shades to kind of really bring out how big this eye look is. So we're going to end up covering over that first shade because it just blends in too much.
It won't go away. I've got that feeling rushing through my body. I know that it just stay. It's like you're my personal Illuminati. I know that some might say that
All right, so I struggled a little bit off camera to get this to a place where I was feeling a little better about it. And I used a little small tight packer brush, and I used void to kind of create the shape. And now we're going to fill in between there. And I think we're going to use some of the turquoise shades. So I think we're going to use a little bit of supernatural and then mirror image. And we're going to build that into that spot to bring a little bit of turquoise next to that orange. I think that'll contrast nicely.
bad girl, but if you treat me right, I will be the best girl in this whole world. No, I'm not gonna bite. I got my hands on your body, so tell me what you want me to do. I can be good or be naughty.
So that's Supernatural, the matte shade, and now we're going to go into Mirror Image and bring some of that on kind of the later half of that.
Because there ain't nobody love you like I do.
These are the really flaky shades. These are one of the really flaky Bella Beaute Bar Formula shades. I think it's maybe one of the hollow chrome, so it's a little bit tricky to work with, but it's beautiful once it's applied. I'm going to go into a little bit of Vecna, and I'm going to put that on the edge of the upper part of the outer part of the eye look. The upper part of the outer look, you'll see. I'm going to do Shadow Universe across the lower lash line, and then we're maybe going to do a pop of orange in the inner corner.
Listen and relax. From here on, you don't have to say a word. So just let go and don't hold back. I've got you, welcome you into my world. I know that some might say that I am just...
I did add a touch of parallel dimension just to that very inner part. And now we're going to bring a little bit of this orange shimmer Inception as our inner corner pop of color.
bad girl, but if you treat me right, I will be the best girl in this whole world. No, I'm not gonna bite. I've got my hands on your body.
Gorgeous. That is exactly what I wanted. This is coming together so much better than I thought it might, but I am loving this so far, this purple look. I'm going to go and I'm going to draw on brow shapes. We'll do mascara and lashes, and I'll be right back. Barney who? Barney what? All right, it is coming together. So I drew the brow shapes on with a Give Me Glow wet liner, and then I added that matte shade Void all over, and then I put that darker blue shimmer shade upside down over most of the brow. And then I took parallel dimension, that purple orange, and put that through the front part and kind of worked it into there. So there are our brows. We've got Vixen lashes from Blend Bunny. And yeah, we are coming together. I also used this light turquoise shade Wormhole, and I highlighted all along underneath the brow just to give it a little bit more dimension. It's a little bit cartoony, and I was like, oh, is it too cartoony? And then I looked myself full in the face, and I was like, you are the Kool-Aid man in drag. You need to stop. Cartoony is fine. All right, now we are going to go into the Blend Bunny Masterclass Blush Palette. I love this. And we're going to use this shade Exhibition and then into this shade, which is called Fetish, to give us a purple blush.
Tell me what you want me to do. I can be good or be naughty. Because there ain't nobody love you like I do. Like I do.
That's pretty, but is it enough? That's a cute start. Let's add a little bit of color. I'm going to use a little bit of Ignite in the deeper part of the cheek just to see what happens when we add this fuchsia to the look. Yeah, I think it needs just that bit of contrast to really show up and really appear like a blush instead of just a variation in the skin tone. I'm going to just a little bit of Hotline, this light pink, just a little bit, because I think we need some variation in the blush. I love to wear a lot of blushes.
You were my best friend, didn't care about the rules, good on the weekends. I'll be in fools, drifting to deep space. So brave and so stupid, just like the movies. How it's gonna stay in the fight with you. Just thinking.
Now from the Bebe Masterclass palette, I'm going to use this purple blush and just bring it along where kind of the highlight will go. I think I'm still going to add a highlight on top of this, but I just want to add some of this purple shimmer.
Do this until we couldn't do it. Each and every high, every night with you. You and me so clueless. We were just broken, shattered, singing along to nothing matters. Stray around like nighttime rumors. We were in too deep.
We absolutely need a highlight, and since we've got these beautiful oranges in the eye look, I thought it could be fun. Use the Lethal Conjuring highlighter. This is a peachy orange highlight, and so I'm going to sprinkle that in where I put that purple and just add a little pop of peachy gold orange on the cheek as well.
Sweaters, thinking we'll be young forever. Driving in your mom's old hatchback, and we were in too deep.
There we go. I like it. Beautiful. Now we just need to do a lip and then we can put some drag on and we're done. All right. Obviously we are going to layer, but this is a Maybelline Matte Super Stay Lip Ink in a dark blue. And we're going to start with this and then we're going to put some beautiful sparkly shadow on top. This is the shade 105 Explorer.
Where did it begin? Where did it end? Hanging on loose strings, unable to bend. I never listened, trying to prove it, just like the movies. How it's gonna stay in the fight with you. Just thinking we would do this until we couldn't do it. Each and every high, every.
All right, now I think I could have very easily done a black liner with this, but I actually like it just as the blue. And like I said, we're going to let this dry and then we're going to add some shimmer shadow on top. I like this. I feel like when you don't have makeup on, your lips are always a slightly different color than your face, for most of us anyway. And so there may be a little more pink, a little more brown, a little more red. And so if you were purple, maybe you would have a slightly more navy indigo kind of lip color. All right, I'm gonna go over my lips with Upside Down, and then I think I'll add a little bit of this purple orange right in the center to jazz it up.
With you, you and
Now that's an ombre. All right, that is the look. Let me go throw on some hair, throw on some drag, and we'll be right back for the final thoughts. Showtime synergy. Look at this. Oh, this purple. I'm very excited. We have some red gloves. It's very reverse Jessica Rabbit. We've got the purple sequins with red gloves. And so here we are. I didn't have purple gloves. It would be perfect with purple gloves, but I do like a little bit of contrast. I think that's fun. Here we are. Here's the final look. Here's our color of the year. Electric purple. Hashtag 8F00FF. This is the color of the year for me. Now remember, if you decide to do a look, please tag me in it. Hashtag real color of the year 2026. And if you decide to do your own color, if you decide to pick your own color, then absolutely do that. Also tag me. Also hashtag real color of the year 2026. And let's make this happen because I'm very excited. How much better is this than Cloud Dancer? Are you kidding? Look at how fun she is. Look at how playful. Look at how colorful. We are here for it. Absolutely. I love this and I hope you love it too. I feel like Barney's been going through a transition and she is ready to hit the town. She is ready for it. I do really love this. And I do want to say at the very end of this video, probably too late, people who are mad would have dropped off by now, but there are some people who think that if you darken your skin tone in any way, that constitutes blackface. And I want you to know that is not, in my heart, that is not who I am. That is not an objective truth. That is a subjective opinion. So if you feel that and you are upset with this video, know that I see you, that I understand you. I understand that is a valid point of view, but it's also not an objective truth. That is something that you feel. And I am sorry if I made you feel that, but know that this is coming from a very good place. We are playing with colorful foundation, colorful hair, and we are just looking to play with color and have a good time. So please understand the spirit in which this was attempted, and I hope you enjoy it. I love this purple. We'll see when I wash it off how I feel because I may be stained fuchsia, but we shall see. And so that is the end. Let me know what you think about my color of the year down below. And while you are down there leaving me that comment, don't forget you can give me a thumbs up to tell me that you appreciated this video, that you love the purple, or if you are one of those people that's like, girl, stick to regular skin tones, go ahead and give me that thumbs down. It is all engagement. The algorithm isn't a picky bitch, and neither am I. Clearly. And while you're down there, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, become part of the fam, and hit that bell icon and tell them you want all the notifications so you will get notified every time I upload a video or go live. I try really hard to make sure that I have at least one video or live every week. And sometimes, if you're lucky, if you're very lucky, you might even get a bonus video. Ooh, electric purple-rific. If you'd like to chat, banter, or commiserate between uploads, all of my social media will be linked down in the description box below, including a link to my website, The World of Champagne, at JanessaJaye.com. Thank you so much for watching. I love and appreciate all of you. Thank you for coming on this crazy, colorful journey. There were several times throughout the process I was not sure that anything was going to come of this, and I actually think this is real cute. I love it. I even like the little pop of red. I think this is a good time. I think this is very glam. It's very geeky. It's a little bit of gore. I love it. I think it's fun. I think it's a good time, and I had such a good time. And I am going to love seeing all of your looks and videos celebrating either this or your personal color of the year. And until I see you again, bye. What? You're telling me that some boring off-white, boring Becky... No. So I'm going to start with the sunset makeup. Let's see. Another air pump. Ugh. Come on. You know you want to. Why is it getting goopy like that? These Glisten ones are especially bad about the air pumps. Sisters do like sisters should. If you'd like to chat, nope. Well, and blah, 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 blah.